Welcome into another episode of Reinventing Life After 50. Today, I have the distinct honor of welcoming Daniel Jackson to the show. Daniel is a gifted spirit medium, author, and speaker dedicated to helping others discover their true purpose and navigate their spiritual path. He's the founder of Beyond the Veil LLC and has touched countless lives with his profound insights and compassionate guidance. Join us as we explore Daniel's extraordinary journey, his unique perspectives on life's big questions, and how he empowers others to find their place in the world. Daniel, welcome in, my friend. Tell everybody where you're calling in from.
I am calling in from southern Arizona, a little place called Sierra Vista. I'm about 20 minutes southwest of Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone, Arizona. So that explains, because the weather there is nice, right? Don't rub it in.
Right now, it's going to be like 65 today. Next week, it's going to be in the 70s. But I was riding my bike last Saturday. It was 82.
Oh my God. So we woke up here, because you just had to rub it in there. We woke up here. It was 27 degrees this morning.
Awesome.
Here, frost on the windows. I mean, it could be worse. It could be, some other place, but it's just not.
I'm used to that. I'm from the East Coast. I was born and raised in New Jersey, and then I lived in Delaware until I was 55 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 58 now. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But the shirt, I love the shirt for the people that are just calling in, listening. Yeah, it's a Hawaiian shirt, just like you'd expect to see people walking around in Hawaii on. I love it, man. It's great. It's great. So your bio, let's kind of start here. Your bio mentions a calling from God, right? Can you elaborate on that experience and how it shaped your path as a spirit medium?
Well, I didn't know I was a medium until right before I was turning 50. I had, at that point, my wife went on vacation for 2 weeks, and for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you could ever imagine that was in a scary movie. Now, I was sort of used to it because I've seen spirit ever since I was 3 years old, and it just progressed in my life, but and the experiences of it. But after my wife came home from that vacation, we decided we were going to figure this out because after I told her everything, it was a little bit much for her. So we sought out help for this, and I ended up contacting 5 mediums, and one of them helped me to understand this more and told me I had to make a big decision, and I had to have a talk with God to get this figured out, to decide whether or not I was going to move forward with this or not. Even me, at that time, I said, "Move forward with what?" And she said, "Oh, you're just a medium, just untrained." So I went into the bedroom when I got home that night, and I sat down and had a talk with God and said, "I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll go wherever you want me to go. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Wherever you want me to be, I'll do it 110%. I will help the spirit or even people if that's what you want me to do, no matter what." So, and all I asked for was help. I said, "If you will just give me some help to help understand this and figure this out, I'll do whatever you want." So after that, that's when everything started to change for me. I found out I really didn't need to per se ask him for the help. It's me making the decision to do this and saying, "Yes, I'll do whatever you want me to do." Then he brought me the help. But it's still not easy.
That's interesting. So a couple of things there to unpack. You didn't know, quote unquote, that you were a medium until you hit 50, but you had seen spirit up until that point. What did you think that was before then?
Well,
did you think it was normal, or what did you think it was? Because
well, for me it was.
Yeah.
My family grew up in New Jersey, right on the Delaware River, and there was a battlefield there in our town. This is where the Hessians fought, a little hospital there. So my whole family was seeing them at that time. So it made it easier for me to deal with because they were experiencing everything too. And then people in that part of the neighborhood were also having some of these experiences. So yeah, it kind of made it normal for us.
Hmm.
But it wasn't until I was like 17, my parents and I moved to Delaware, and I was just seeing so much more, experiencing so much more. I came home from a gig one time because I played in a rock band. I had big hair and zebra stripe spandex. I thought I looked cool. Probably not so much, but when I laid down in bed, something laid down next to me. I felt the bed move. I felt the pillow squish down, and I kept looking around to see what was there. I didn't see anything. And then there was one time I rolled over when I did that to see what was there, and whatever was there picked up the blanket that I had on top of me. It brought it up to the ceiling, and then it shook it, and then it dropped it on top of me. And after 2 weeks after that, I slept on the couch downstairs because I
Of
was
course.
so scared,
What the hell is
you
that?
know,
Yeah, yeah,
but it was that,
yeah.
and that was a big thing, but then more big things came around all the time. But for me, it was like I was just telling my friends, like I had ghost stories.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like that. Okay, a couple things because I'm intrigued. So for me, what I understand about mediums is you're born with it, whatever. It seems unusual. Okay, so you're born with it or you're chosen maybe after whatever. It seems unusual to me that there would be this big large concentration of people in a particular area that all are seeing this kind of thing. That seems unusual to me because usually, like you don't. I mean, I don't. You probably walk amongst and mediums all the time, but I don't. I think you guys are rare. It's not like there's 1 in 10. I don't know what the numbers are, but
It's
for
about
there to be
10%
so
of the
many,
population.
is what again? Say again.
About 10% of the
About
whole
10%.
entire population.
So it seems interesting to me that there would be this huge concentration in one area of a bunch of mediums. Do you think it is?
No.
Uh, so what are you going to say?
I don't. I know some. I'm going to an event on Saturday that's it's like a psychic arts healing fair, but
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out with mediums all day
Yeah.
long.
Well, I think my question is like where you grew. You talked about that cemetery, or whatever, where you grew up, and a lot of the people in the neighborhood were seeing these things as well.
Oh, well, that doesn't make them a medium. You're just seeing spirit. There's a
Got you.
difference between, yeah, when you're a medium, you're actually communicating with
Got you.
spirit.
Okay.
You're seeing, healing, feeling, all
Okay.
that.
Got you. Okay, that was the clarification I needed. All
Yeah.
right. So you're born with this, right? This gift to.
Well, to an extent, everyone is. It comes through with your soul.
Mhm.
Because you just came from a perfect place, what we would call heaven, and you came here and you are pure of heart. You don't have any pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, any of that stuff. Any of that stuff you learned how to have here.
Right.
And then what happens is you grow up. Basically, you wake up in a baby body going, well, your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the hell you are, but
Right.
okay. And then they teach you the ways of the world.
Mhm.
And that stuff is usually a bunch of BS. And that's what it's like throwing a bucket of bleach over top of you and washes all the purity away.
Mhm.
And that purity is what gave you the ability to see, hear, feel, and communicate with things. And then it gets washed away. But some of us are meant to keep it. Sorry. Some of us are just meant to be teachers. Others are just meant to be students. That's all.
So interesting. So you had stated you didn't know you were a medium until you were 50, and so
Right.
you had a choice at that point whether
Yes.
to.
That's what it came down to.
Okay. Whether you were going to continue down the path and it just kind of be in the background
Correct.
or leaning into it, say, okay, let me open myself up to this frequency to allow even more to come in and to use me as a vessel or,
Correct.
yeah.
You hit it right on the head.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Because us dummies on this other side of this spectrum, we just think that you have it, you can't turn it off. It's like you just deal with it. It's like, noise, loud, and things like that. It's just always there and present.
You can turn it off if it's bothering you that much. If you can't handle it, sure, you could turn it off. A lot of people do.
I have interviewed a couple, and they both actually were from Australia, mediums, and They both had interesting ways, and you probably can speak to this as well. Because one of them speaks to a lot of historical type, people. And she said, like, once she started communicating with them, she said she would be, awakened in the middle of the night, and there would be hundreds of them basically kind of like standing outside wanting to speak, kind of like in a line. So she formed a spiritual, like, lobby. And so, hey, I'm closed during these hours, I'm open these hours, you can
Yeah,
come during these
I
times.
can't do that.
Isn't it
I'm not
interesting
meant
that
to.
she could do that? Like,
Yeah,
it took
some of
her,
them can. I can't.
yeah,
I'm not meant to though.
yeah.
I have something different than all other mediums have. I have something that none of them have, so I can't do that.
So let's shelve that for a second. I'm curious. That I definitely want to ask you about that. What's different? But how do you manage? You spoke of that you can kind of quiet it. How do you do that?
Oh, I don't quiet anything. It's on 24/7. There's not a moment in my day that goes by that I don't ever not see spirit,
Wow,
ever. It
interesting.
doesn't turn off for me. It's like being in a room with 1,000 people, just nobody leaves and just keep coming in.
Yeah, yeah,
But not just people.
yeah.
I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, other beings from other worlds. I see everything.
Mm.
And not everything that I see is good.
Yeah, of
You don't
course.
want you don't always want to see. I don't know anybody who wants to see what I see.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see it's like the worst horror movie you've ever seen in your entire life, except you can't turn it off. It just stops when it does.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So I don't know if you and I talked about this. I prior law enforcement and the stuff. I was a crime scene technician as well. So there, that stuff never goes. It's always there. It's always playing in the back somewhere. But yours is
Correct.
like you're actually living it.
Yes, I am living
At
it.
least I can distract it.
I've had a lot of experiences with spirit that, like I had a guy who appeared in front of me one time, uh, and just asked him, I said, "Do you want to cross over?" And he said, "No, I don't think I can." I said, "Why not?" And then he put like an imprinted memory on me. Now I'm living that memory like a dream, except I'm completely awake.
Mhm.
And I see him standing there, but I'm him looking through his eyes. And I see a man run past him and turn around and point a gun at him. And then I see his arm, which is not my arm, come up, pick up a gun, boom, shoot this guy.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Ooh, you just killed that guy." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "But I get a sense you were doing it out of, uh, you were protecting yourself."
Like self defense.
Like, yeah, like self-defense.
Hmm.
And I said, "Is that why you think you can't cross over?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, I murdered that guy." I said, "But the guy was chasing you." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that doesn't mean much. You can go if you want to, okay? So you just have to wanna go." But he was afraid he had to come back again because we all come back over and over again.
Hmm.
Um, so I said, "You can just go," but and I knew at that point he had to come back again. I get those kinds of answers. I can get those answers for anybody. So I said, "Well, you just need to go home, go into the light." And he just didn't wanna do it. He walked away. Now here's the problem. That memory he imprinted on me is now my memory,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I feel as though I killed
You
somebody.
lived it.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's still in me.
yeah, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference whether it happened or
Correct.
not, right? So
Right.
you have lived that. You did actually live that. It is part of
Yes.
you. God, I can't imagine that, Daniel. That's a burden, brother. I mean, it's a gift and a burden, right? Like it's both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the gift part of it is, I don't just see spirit. I remote view. I see into other dimensions. I have dimensional beings visit me all the time. And one time I was sitting in my bedroom and I saw a dog in front of me playing with two people, a man and a woman. I thought I was remote viewing, but it wasn't.
Hmm.
And the dog was playing, walking up to the woman, and she was petting him. And then the guy was throwing a ball, and the dog was going to get it, and back and forth. It was great. And then that part of it turned off. And then I saw a dog standing in front of me, and he was in spirit. And he said to me, "When is my mommy and daddy coming home?"
Ah,
Because everything that speaks to me, I hear it all in English.
yeah.
And I said, "So I said, "Don't worry about it. They'll be coming home soon. Just wait and watch. They'll be coming home soon." I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh my God. That's so sweet, man. That's so sweet. That to I've not interviewed. I've interviewed several different types of spiritual, you know, people like yourself, but none that can speak to or have connection with the animals. That's really
Everything.
yeah. So is that one of the distinct differences? You know, you mentioned a moment ago you're different than many in your
Oh,
field. Is
absolutely.
that yeah
Yeah, no one else has what I do. They just don't. Just
yeah?
like there's only one God, there's only one Jesus. What I have is only within me.
So what are those things that are distinct? That Doctor Doolittle thing. Speaking to dogs, right? Speaking to
Uh,
animals. But,
what it has to do with is why I'm here. We all have a purpose in our lives, but
mhm.
our purpose is very simple. We're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. Okay, in a way where you're going to help them do something physical they cannot possibly do for themselves, or you're helping them to figure it out. But my purpose is different. So the way that it works for everybody is when you pass away, you're going to stand up out of your body, you're going to look down. I don't need that anymore. Take a step to the left, you look to the right, and a light's going to turn on for you, a portal for you to go through. Okay, and it's just there to give you the option to either go into heaven, or if you don't go and you go, take a second guess, and you remain here as your earthbound spirit. I don't recommend staying here. It's not the nicest place. But that light is what we would call the light into heaven.
Mm.
In order for that light to be here in this physical world, it is a soul, a particular soul that has to be here all the time so that all spirit can see it and hear it, know where to go. This soul will guide them, and that soul has to be in a physical body in order to do all of this. It has to remain here all the time. So when you pass away, you will stand up out of your body. You'll either go into the light or not, but you're here now because you've been to heaven already. What do you have in common with the other 7.5 billion people in this world? They've all been to heaven. They all had to come back, just like you.
Mm.
Okay? You would go into that light and go home. This soul does not go home. Each time that the body terminates that it is in, it automatically another one's born for it, and it goes right into it. So it stays here all the time. So it can shine all the time. So it can be seen all the time, heard all the time. When people like us are standing around and talking, spirit, they can hear all that. But
Mhm.
there's 7.5 billion of us. It's like static after a while. They can
Yeah,
turn
sure.
it off.
Mhm.
They can manipulate themselves to do that.
Mm.
But this one soul, they can't turn it off. It has to be heard. It has to be seen, so they know where to go. Sometimes they will just go in, as well as other people who are passing away will just go in. But sometimes they need to be given answers of what is on the other side for them, because they made this choice to be here and they don't know that they can always go. Sometimes they just get lost, or they're just scared, or someone told them they're going to be judged or something like that. God
Mhm.
doesn't judge us. We judge ourselves 1,000 times a day. Why does he need to do it once more? He doesn't. Okay?
Mhm.
You're not going to hell or anything. There is no such place as hell, or there's no such thing as demons or our negative energies.
Mhm.
But there's no one guy walking around with horns and a tail torturing everybody. Although there may be a guy walking around with horns and a tail, but that's because that's what he looks like where he comes from. That's all. It's pretty simple.
Mhm.
So this soul has to be here all the time, to shine all the time, to be heard all the time, seen all the time, and then talk to the spirit, get answers for them so that they can cross them over, to guide them through.
So
That
is
soul
that
is me.
so? A couple of things. It made me think about that, and you'll know that Denzel Washington movie where that. Um, God, I wish I could remember what it was called, but it was similar. It was a negative energy, so to speak, but it always, I forget virtuosity. I think that's what it was called. I cannot remember. I'll put it in the show notes for those that can't, I can't remember it right now. But it was the same thing. Like the body was about to die, it would find another living. It didn't matter. It could be a cat, could be a bird, whatever. Anything that was close by, it would.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but no, that's what it kind of sounded like, though. Like how the spirit
Right.
lives on. That's what made me
Yeah.
think of.
Well, yeah,
Because
everyone's soul lives on, but
yeah,
you don't go home and somebody says, "Oh, next time I'm coming back, I'm going to be a hawk or an eagle."
yeah,
It doesn't work that way.
yeah.
You
This
come back
was
to the flesh when you
so.
die.
I encourage. I mean, it's an interesting movie and concept. Kind of what you're saying reminds me of it. It's probably not exactly it, but it was. It still tried to find a way to continue. And like when that body was dying, whatever the closest living thing was
Right.
to it, would so it could live on to then finally get back to the human form or wherever it was.
That's a good
But
way
it,
of scaring people, confusing them,
yeah,
because
you're
that's what
right.
that does.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't help
So
them.
so these things that we have, you talked about, we've all been there and we come back, right?
Yeah, you do. I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just stay here. My soul does.
So, so with that, the common term that people hate, deja vu. That was a deja vu moment. I feel like
That's
I've
a
had that.
memory.
Is that what that is from a
Yeah.
past time?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. They don't want to tell you that because they don't want you to know how much power and control you have over yourself. And what I
Yeah.
mean by they is they who tell you everything. They need to wear this shirt or wear those shoes. What they need to do is they need to shut the hell up, and we need to stop
Right.
listening.
Man, I could like that. That is so factual. If you met me in person, you'd see that I don't walk and talk and do anything like anybody else. It's just I
Me
am my
either.
own person. It's like I I said this to a guy that I coach. He's a leader at a company, and he had to have a kind of a tough conversation with his boss. And I told him, I said, "Man, you got to go in with a I don't give a fuck attitude, and you don't have to
Right.
prove anything anymore.
Correct.
You are who you are and what you are, and it's just how you show up. People take you, or they don't."
Absolutely.
He goes, "Man, I invoked that." He said, "I felt so good after I left, and it's what it is." I said, "And what you did, you took your power back, and it
Correct.
now no longer lives with somebody else."
Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's huge, man. It's huge. So you've helped many people kind of find their true path. What are some common threads you've observed in the journeys of self discovery?
People have a problem with direction. They have a problem trying to find where they need to go, what they need to do, what is their purpose. Again, like I explained, what our purpose is. We're here to help each other. But the world wants to keep you confused. They don't want you to know what you're supposed to do. They want you to think that you need them to rely on, but you don't. You can rely on yourself, but that takes a lot of time and practice in order to do that, to step away from everything else that you've been taught your entire life, to know that everything they're telling you out there is not exactly the truth. And that's hard for people to do because we get all this pushed in front of our faces all the time. You need to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats. And, stuff is more important. But what we need to get back to is understanding that without us being the true value in this world, all that stuff is just worth nothing.
Yeah.
It has to be in our hands. So what's that prove? That the true value in this world is us.
Mhm.
But we need to know that we can have trust and faith within ourselves to do anything we want to do in this world without letting anyone else stifle us or keep us from doing it. But we do have to get away from the distractions, the politics, the sports, all this other garbage out there that keeps our minds so busy and keeps us hating on each other. I hate you because I don't like your football team, and you hate me because you don't like my football team, or
Mhm.
I hate you because you are this color in the political world, and I'm this color in the political world, or we're a different color skin complexion. We should hate each other. They want us to do that.
Oh, 100% because they can control us then.
Correct. Chris. How do you control a population? Well, you can do that with hate. You
Divide and
do
hate.
it with greed and power. Yeah,
Yeah.
we segregate ourselves from ourselves, and that's what they want us to do.
So I
And
think I
people
think
pay attention to it.
I think
Don't.
I think it's a and people can evolve to this. I mean, it took me years to get to this point, but I learned many years ago that it's okay to have the differences, and that's that saying, the variety is the spice of life. It's true. It's like we can
Right,
have
right.
a civil conversation on our differences, and the
We
reason
can.
I'm doing it is not to define something divisive, to label and put you in a box. It's really to try to understand where you're coming from, because
Correct.
we're all look. Here's what it is, man. Maybe not for you, but everybody else walking on this earth. Life turns over about every 100 years, right? Give or take.
Sure.
This is our tribe all across the globe. Whether you like it or not, these
Right,
are our
right.
people. And so we're going to have differences. That's cool. But we don't use those differences as weaponize against one another. It's like,
Correct.
yeah, it's okay to have, like, because here's the thing, like you talked about, the political thing is like people that's so divisive for people, and it really doesn't have to be. It's kind of like
No,
this.
it's a joke.
It is a joke. It's kind of like this, and you mentioned football. So I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. You will never convince me not to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. So why would you argue against that? Let's just
Right.
find common ground. We both love football. Let's enjoy
You like what you like.
football. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's
I
like
mean, come on. I mean,
it's just the funniest thing to me that people bicker and fight over those kind of things, man. Like, because here, at the end of it all, we all want virtually pretty much the same stuff. We all want to feel secured, respected, cared for. We all
correct.
want, love and security, those kind of things. All those other things make up about this much of who we are,
Correct.
but we allow it to take up this much of who we are.
Yes.
And it's really unfortunate.
We take up too much space in it.
It does, man. It consumes way too much of your
Well, what it
energy.
really comes down to is we all live on the same planet. No one's going anywhere anytime soon, so we better start to get along with each other before we annihilate each other.
That's it. That's it,
Right.
man. Or you just got to love. You can, even if it's somebody you love, sometimes you got to love them from afar, like really far.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
there's 7.5 billion of us. There's not meant to be, just one of us. We're meant to do this together.
Yeah.
We have to get on the same plane, in the same playing field to know that we are meant to do this together. We should be taking care of each other. We should be sharing everything. And there shouldn't be a money system or anything like that. That's a bunch of bullcrap. That's power and control and greed.
It
But
is.
that was brought to us a long time ago by what we would call kings and queens. And now we call it big corporation and government. And they keep pushing it out there. And we keep, oh, I got to be a part of that. I can do this. I can make this much money. You are making crumbs compared to what they have. And they will never relinquish that power over to you. They took that power away from us a long time ago.
Long time
We
ago.
need to take it back.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. And here's the thing. I mean, out of despair and major tragedy kind of situations, you really see the true essence of people. It's interesting,
Yeah.
like when big events occur,
But it takes those events for something
it
to
should.
happen. It
and it
should.
shouldn't. So, and that's the thing. It's like, anytime that kind of stuff happens, there's always this discourse around that to say, can we not move forward like this now? Let's not let
Correct.
political, religion, any of those kind of things that divide us come back in, because look how
Yes.
powerful we are when we're working things in concert together. It's
Right.
just interesting. Yeah. So
Like back in 9/11 when that happened, everyone was nice to each other for 2 weeks.
yes.
And then they came in, well, if you're an Indian descent, oh, now you're horrible.
Yeah. It's like,
Or with COVID, they were praising people who were working at Walmart.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we should be praising each other all the time.
All the time. All
But
the
now
time.
we just don't. We just let it creep back in.
So, and that's the thing. It's like we allow the title that we were given, or that we give ourselves, or the label that we give ourselves
Sure.
to create these structures like I'm better than you, whether this consciously or subconsciously. And it's just,
I remember doing a show one time, and this lady came on, and she was hosting a show. Me and another woman was there, and the other woman called herself a high priestess of what she did. Okay, and helping people getting all these answers. And I said to her, because I knew, she told me, I said, "Why do you call yourself a high priestess? Why that?" She said, "Oh, well, my grandmother was this, so that's why I went with that." But you don't actually speak to spirit? She said, no. I said, you don't communicate with them? No. You're not getting answers from them. So what you're basically doing is just giving people your own advice, right? And she just like had nothing to say. And then the host was like, so you don't really do any of that? And I said, and I told the host, no, she doesn't do that. Spirit is telling me she doesn't do that. How do you think I would know? And that lady said, I got to go. Click. Gone.
Of course, you exposed her.
Yeah.
I mean, she exposed herself. You just had to. Yeah.
Right. But they were telling me she is not doing what she says she does.
Yeah.
So why are you here? Why are you pretending? Because if I can get one over on you, I will. And that's what people do.
Well, yeah. Then it makes it much easier for me to manipulate you into what I want you to do and think. Right.
Correct. That's what they do.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, many people feel, we talk about this, prior to like 9/11, how people feel divided and things like that. Many people feel lost and powerless. How does your work address these feelings, and what steps can individuals do to reclaim their self of agency?
They need to learn to listen, trust, and follow through. That's what they need to do. They need to learn to listen to themselves instead of everyone else first. You don't need to, go outside of you and outsource everything. You can find the answers that are where they really are. They're truly within yourself. But you have to take the time to do that. You have to learn. People get these answers all the time. You're about to walk into a building and you say, I don't feel like, I don't feel right about going in there. Where do you think it's coming from?
Yeah.
You think it's coming from you? It's coming from your soul. It's coming from your spirit guides. It's coming from a higher place that's trying to guide you. But you need to learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what it's telling you to do. They just don't want to do that. They want to go to Staples and get an easy button and go click. Oh, yay, everything's wonderful. It doesn't work that way. You have to take the time. You have to take the effort. You can come to me and get answers. That's great. But even the answers I give you, you still have to live them.
You got to act on it. Yeah. I mean,
Yes, you have to be proactive.
yeah, it made me think of this. This is somebody, you'll see people post like on Facebook or whatever, and they'll say, like, let's say it's in a Facebook group, for example, they say, hey, moderators, please remove this if this is not allowed. And they go tell the story. Well, and then, so I'll respond, it's like, your intuition was telling you that, like, if you had to paraphrase the rest of your question with that, then you probably just shouldn't do it. Like, that's something trying to tell you not to do it. So I had something similar. Like, I mean, it happens quite frequently. I'm not tuned in like you, but I meditate daily and I do those kind of things. And I've always, we call it emotional intelligence and awareness. I've always had really good situational awareness. That's what made me a police officer. But just picking up on feeling and, reading and that energy that comes off of people.
Sure.
I had a situation the other day and it just was off. I'm usually, Daniel, like completely comfortable in front of large groups of people and speaking engagements, all that kind of stuff. But I stepped into this room the other day and they were going kind of through this exercise they wanted me to take a part of. And I just felt off. I was off and I knew it was something in the room. I mean, it was high energy, but something was just not right. And I left, and it wasn't until about an hour later to where I kind of reset. I don't know what it was. There was somebody in there that was, intermingling energy-wise with me.
Well,
it just was off.
Because you actually have an ability that you're just not aware of. I know what it is.
What is that?
It's called being an empath. You pick up on the energies of other people around you. But you don't just pick up on regular energies either. You actually pick up on spiritual energies around you too. You're just not aware of it. But it encompasses you. And you take it on, and then sometimes it takes you a while to expel that from you.
Mm-hmm.
You should
actually do it because it's imprinted on you. That's what it feels like. Like I was showered in it, and I had to get dried off. So I would tell you that I would like to be able to understand how to harness or utilize whatever is here, but like my wife says, this will be able.
Takes practice.
Takes
you
practice.
Learn to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you and I can kind of talk offline, like when we finish this, like you can kind of point me where that might be.
I
Uh,
will.
yeah, that'd be great. So my wife, like we this April will be 25 years for us marriage, and my she told my kids this a few times, but like there was this kid, this other boy my daughter was talking to, whatever, and I was like, I don't know about him. And my wife has always told my kids, like, if your father tells you there's something about somebody, he
Right.
might not be able to explain it. Just listen to it because it's never been wrong for us our entire time
Right.
together. And
That's
think
what
it
it
might be
is.
years later something pops up, or it could be immediate. But there's just something there. I
Yeah.
just I don't know. And it's not
That's
even
an
anything they
impact.
say.
Right.
it's just there.
You're
So
just
I'd like
picking up on their energy. You can pick up the goodness of them or the badness of them.
yeah
It's
yeah.
all there, and it's you're susceptible to it all the time. It's been with you in your entire life, like this has been with me.
It's interesting. And I'll be so Daniel this next week. I'll be 53, and it's interesting how since I hit 50, but particularly this past year, past 12 months.
You don't look a day over 67.
I appreciate that,
You're
man.
welcome.
I appreciate that. It's so kind of you. Uh,
Welcome.
but just how things are more aligned now, and I think part of that, particularly over this last 12 months, I've really adopted that more of I don't give a fuck attitude, and that seems negative to some people. May hear that.
No, it's not. It's you taking power of yourself, control of yourself.
That's it.
I wake up every day. I don't have any expectations. I don't have any goals or anything like that. I wake up with an open heart, whatever's going to come my way. But when I walk around, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what if they like my shirt or my shoes. I could give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
I'm here to do what I'm here to do, but I can't keep all that stuff that's coming at me affecting me. Just can't do
Man,
it. So I
you
let it
think
go.
about how exhausting it is to always constantly trying to please everybody around you with that.
Well,
What
that's if you want to
society
do
tells
it.
hey, Dan, you can't, by the way, when we go to this quote unquote church function, you can't wear a shirt like that. Who says? Like, you made up this rule? Like, there's no rules that we're having to, we can just,
I wouldn't do it anyway because
right.
I'm not going to go to church. I
Exactly,
mean,
me either.
church is not a house of God. It's a house of guilt.
Yeah.
It's everybody in there trying to prove to everybody else, I'm a better Christian than you are.
Yeah.
There's so much
Yes.
negativity in there.
It's terrible. I know.
Yeah.
Same, man. Same. So I'm curious. Talk about an impactful story of someone whose life was transformed through your guidance.
I did a reading one time years ago. I had these people. I was at this festival. Okay, and they're walking around. Everybody's walking around, and they walk past my table. And they're just looking, and I'm like, "Do you want to get a reading?" And there's like, "Well, we're still kind of looking around. We're not sure." And I said, "Okay, I'll see you in about an hour."
Mm,
They do their thing. They come back an hour later. I said, "You're ready now?" Yes. All right, who's going to get the reading? Wife says, I will. I said, okay. So they sat down in front of me. I give them my spiel. I tell them, I can only tell the truth one way. I can't tell it 50 ways until one way suits you. Meaning, if you ask me a question, I get the answer. That's the answer. If you don't like the answer, if you don't like the truth, that's not my problem. That's yours, okay? I communicate with archangels, not men with wings and shields and swords, okay? No one has a guardian angel following them around, because if you had a guardian angel following you around, guarding you from everything in your life, what would you learn? Nothing. Okay, so that's a bunch of bull crap. Now, give me your hand. Let me see what I see. She holds my hand. I said, grip a little bit tighter. Give me that kung fu grip. So she holds on. I closed my eyes and I said, I see a horse in front of you. And the horse is walking up to you, and he puts his head on your shoulder and then tells me that you're its mommy.
mm,
Now, what was strange is before he did that, he kind of like I saw a stall, and I saw him walk out, and he comes around you in a circle, comes about, and puts his head on your shoulder. I said, "What are you people on a farm or something?" And they just kind of looked at me, and they said, No, what does the horse look like? Now, at this point, they said no because they were testing me. They wanted to see if I was real.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
And I said, the horse is kind of strange. It's got this fur. It's kind of like patchy, like a cow, like white and brown. But the horse, instead of having a regular mane on its head, it looks like a wig, a blonde wig. The ears are poking through, and it's like somebody put a wig on their head. So I said, does that sound like anything to you? Well, the husband, he starts going through his phone. He's flipping through. And I said, this horse is really attracted to you, loves you very much. And the horse misses you very much, sees you all the time, but does miss you. The guy stops his phone and he looks in front of me and says, you mean this horse right here?
Oh my
And I
God.
said, yeah. I said, is that your horse? He said, yeah, we have a couple of horses. He said, but with that horse, we really love that horse. So we had a painting done of the horse. And we paid a lot of money for this picture. It cost us $5,000. When we got the painting back, we looked at it and we're like, they didn't like it. They said the same thing. It looked like the painter put a wig on its head. We couldn't figure out
Oh
why.
God.
This is ridiculous. So they put the painting in the closet. And I said, well, what's the deal with the horse coming up to you, saying it's your mommy? And the woman said, every morning I would wake up, I'd go out to the stalls, I'd clean them, and then I'd go to this one particular stall. I'd open up. And when I opened up the door, the horse would walk out, walk around in a circle, come back over to her, and then put its head on her shoulder,
Oh my
on her
God.
right shoulder. And she said it was just the most amazing thing. She said, this is our favorite horse. And I said, that's good. I said, this horse really loves you. But it says you're its mommy. And they said, yeah. Our horse died 2 weeks ago. And I just looked at them as I tell everybody, I can't make this crap up.
Yeah, dude. Like,
This horse is here to be with you. It passed away. It loves you that much. It calls you its mommy. And these people, they just started bawling their eyes out. I started bawling my eyes out.
sure. Yeah.
I felt, so bad for them because they just lost their favorite. I wouldn't even call it a pet. I would call it a family
No, a
member.
family member for sure.
Yeah. But the horse was there to show me this, to let me know, to let those people know that he's okay. He's there where he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And is still there with them. It's just waiting for them to come home. That's all.
Mm.
But they stood up, and I'd never been hugged so hard in my life by two people. So I let them know everything was going to be okay. They don't have to worry about the horse. I know they miss him, but just to let them know that it's there with them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, I can't make this crap up. So
Yeah, you couldn't make that. I mean, you couldn't script that and make that up.
No.
Like it's somebody, you tell somebody that story and then give them, have you do your work with them. I don't know how they would even,
these people were in, I mean, you could see the pain and the sorrow
Yeah.
in their faces.
Yeah, sure.
But now they were at ease now.
So why do you think the horse like bonded with her so strongly, to call her mommy? Like what do you think that
because
is?
she has a good soul inside of her, because she knew how this horse was treated. That the horse knew that these people were really taking care of it,
Mm.
and the horse knew that, and the horse was happy about that so much that it just felt as though this was his mommy, because she tended to every need for him. And animals are not dumb. Now, the horse could see that she was tending to the other ones,
Yeah.
but not as much as
Not the
this
same.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're super intelligent, and that whole, the therapy that they do with horses, with people, it's amazing to see and watch those stories. Like I saw one recently where they took a horse into a hospital. I'm like, Boy, that was a lot of work. How would they do that? But it made it. They're so intelligent with that emotional and spiritual kind of connection that they
Yeah.
have with humans. It's very interesting. And I think, I don't know, maybe you can tell since you've had a lot of these, because there's been so much connection, human beings, horses for, centuries. So you've got that, I think, as part of it too. I don't know.
But even with that, not everything I do is all like uh, flowers and honey ever.
Sure.
I
Right.
do some readings that are very blunt. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very blunt. I'm not rainbows and unicorns. I'm not everything is love and light because life is hard.
Mhm.
I had a woman come up to me a couple months ago. Now, this is how blunt I am. Can I say curse words on here?
Absolutely. It's my show. It's your
Okay,
show today. Yes.
because this is how it gets.
Yeah.
Because people want an answer from God. They come to me because they want an answer from God, and I get the answer. But they don't always like the answer because people just don't like the truth. But that's not my problem. So this woman sits down in front of me, and she asks me a bunch of questions, and then she says to me, "I want to have grandchildren." And I said, "No, you're not going to have grandchildren." And she was like, "What do you mean?
How dare you? Yeah.
You're not meant to have them." I said, "But what's really taking place is your daughter is not meant to have grandchildren. These children for you." Okay. And she said, "Well, why?" I said, "Well, someone will tell you it's a lady problem, something like that, or a physical problem.
Yeah.
But the true answer to that is those souls are not meant to come through her body. They're just not. But the bigger answer is your daughter has a disease that is very painful for her, a very physical, painful thing." I said, "So, as I always tell everybody, do you want me to tell you like be a doctor and give you the jargon, medical jargon, or do you want the truth of everything?" She said, "I want the truth." I said, "This disease is going to cause your daughter's death. Your daughter is going to die soon.
Mm.
So what I want you to do is just enjoy the time with your daughter that you have now."
My God.
And she said, how much longer does she have? I said, "She has 8 years. She's going to be out of here in 8 years." But again, even if she tried to have the children, it would cause her so much physical pain. I said, "I know you know about this disease." She said, "Yeah, I know about it." I said, "So then if you know how much pain she's in all the time, why do you keep bothering her with this?"
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Because I want grandchildren so badly." I said,
Is it?
"Even if she were to have those grandchildren, your daughter's gonna pass away. Those kids are gonna be living with you." She said, "Oh, no, no, I don't want that." I said, "Well, then you need to pull back from this." So, I know this is causing your daughter a lot of heartache because you're bugging her all the time. She said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "Here's what I want you to do, okay? Because this disease is so horrible. I mean, they won't even diagnose it, correct?" She said, "Yeah, they won't. They don't know what it is." I said, "Right." I said, "But they don't need to know what it is. Not everybody needs to know every little detail of
Right.
everything. They just think they do." So here's what I want you to do. The next time that you think you wanna tell your daughter about having grandchildren and bugging the crap out of her, here's what I want you to do. I want you to shut your fucking mouth. I want you to leave her alone because this disease is so horrible and it's so painful. You think having grandchildren is more important than your own daughter's well-being, her health. I mean, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? I mean, this girl is suffering. Leave her alone. Enjoy the time you have left with her because you know how bad this is, and then just let it all be.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, Okay." I mean, I said, "Well, you're the one that's causing the problem.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?"
Mm-hmm.
She gets done. Another lady sits in front of me. I hold her hand. I see a horse in front of hers, a white horse with these angels walking around it, petting. And I was taken back a little bit, and I was like, um, I see a horse here with you, but the horse is you. And I see angels petting the horse, and they are telling me that you're coming home soon. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, thank God. I'm tired of being here. I'm in such pain all the time. I can't take this anymore." She said, "How long do I have?" I said, "You have 8 years."
Mm.
And she said, "Oh, thank you." She said, I said, "You have a disease that's really bad, right?" And she said, "I do." And she said, "I was maybe 2 years ago walking around, I bumped into a table and it broke my leg."
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, that's I can't imagine." And she said, "Well, that's not the worst part of it. My mother won't leave me alone because she keeps telling me she wants grandchildren." I said, "Oh, is that your mom over there?"
Mm.
I said, "Your mom won't bother you anymore."
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's it.
but I had to tell this woman, her mom and this woman, that she was gonna die soon.
Mm.
But people want those answers, and
The
I will tell them, "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to."
yeah, yeah.
But if they want the answer, I'm gonna give it to them. I'm that kind of blunt. If you want answers, I'll get them for you, but they're not always going to be pleasant, but it is part of your life, so you need to learn how to deal with it.
Mhm.
So but it helped her. I mean, she stood up and gave me a hug as well. That's what I do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing. People don't want to navigate the truth, and that's where kind of going back to what you're saying about all
Correct.
these external stimulants to avoid that truth.
Correct.
Now, not everybody's dealing with that particular thing, but it's other things that they haven't dealt with that dates back years, and they just don't want to deal with it. So they consume a lot of alcohol. They do all these other
Correct.
things to just cover it up and not
Yes.
address the alarm that's going off all the time.
Yeah.
So man,
It's
that's
like me navigating through my life.
yeah.
Like I said, I don't ever not see spirit. You walk into Walmart, you see, 100 people. I see 100 people plus the other thousands
Plus, I was going to say,
walking around.
yeah. Like, how are they all fitting in here? You know,
They
it's
just are.
yeah,
They're just they
on top
are
of
where
each
they
other.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're just be. They're just walking around doing their thing too. I mean,
it's
you don't have
crazy.
to go to some special place like a prison or something like that to find spirit. They're everywhere.
They're
They
everywhere.
don't take they don't take bathroom breaks. They don't stop and go, "Oh, she's going to the bathroom, let me walk away." They don't do that because they don't sleep, they don't eat, they don't breathe, they don't drive cars, they don't pay insurance. They just are where they are,
Hmm.
and they don't really pay attention to what we do because they don't have to do it anymore. They don't care.
Mm.
They're living a life that's uninterrupted, but they
It's,
are everywhere, and I
it's
just see them
it's
and hear
interesting.
them.
It makes me. It makes me think of. I was a huge Walking Dead fan. Like you have all these zombies just walking around. That they have one. Of course, their mission is to eat somebody else, but they don't
Right.
care about anything else other than that. They're just wandering around.
Correct.
Earth. So
But they're not just wandering. I see them kissing each other, talking to each other, making out. I see them having sex. You can still do all that stuff, but and then some of them are doing some horrible things to each other.
mhm.
A lot of people don't know that, even the ghost hunters, they don't know what the heck they're doing, and they have no respect for spirit. Um, they still feel physical pain over there because they're in this low energy realm. You
Mhm.
cross over to heaven, you don't. But if you're in that low energy place, and I see a lot of that all the time, if another one walks up to you and smacks you in the face, you still feel it.
That's so interesting because that's exactly what happens in the physical world, right?
Correct.
People that are
Just
on
like
that
that.
low energy frequency all the time.
Yeah.
Guess what? You know,
Right.
wow, that's what that's
Same.
interesting. It's the same thing. Wow. So you emphasize teaching people about the reason for existence, right? How do you guide individuals in uncovering their unique purpose?
I have to teach them to learn to let it go.
Hmm.
I have to teach them to wake up, to look around the world and go, "You know what? Everything I see up there is not actually the truth." I have to teach them to learn to let all that bull crap go, all that, "I
Hmm.
need to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats." I'm trying to get them to learn their lessons and get through them quickly so they can get to the points in their lives where they are fulfilling their purpose. And that purpose is gonna be the smallest little thing, but you're helping in a way that no one else is able to help that person or that animal at that time. You are there at that moment to do it. And I have to get them on the road to understanding that they need to do it
Mm.
so that they can get this done, so they can go home and not have to come back again.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, it comes down to direction. They need direction. They're lost in their lives. They don't know why they're lost in their lives, but they are doing it. When I do those readings and they hold my hand, a lot of times I see spirit animals, and the spirit animal will act out for me what they're doing in their lives. And I will tell them that right on the spot. And then from that point on, I will direct them on how to change that. And if they can make that little change there, they can make bigger changes in their lives in order to get on their correct path to learning their lessons quickly. To when you walk through a door and if there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, well, how do you learn that lesson? So you go get a hammer, you
Mm-hmm.
bang it back in and walk through that door freely the rest of your life. Not everybody does that. I know those people. I used to work in prison for 6 years. Those people haven't figured out they're not good criminals, you know? Figure things out quickly, you know? There's no right and wrong. There's no epic failures. There's no mistakes. There's only what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And sometimes you're going to go through some things that don't work for you in order to find out what does. But
Mm-hmm.
once it does, keep on that path. And when you stay on that path, you'll get your lessons learned quickly. So you will put in those places in order to fulfill your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps us coming back over and over again. Not just the lessons, it's the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's why we're here in the first place, to take care of each other. And I have to guide them to do that. So I get them the answers, and then I set them on their way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to come back to me 2 or 3 weeks later because you didn't live enough life. You didn't do everything that I just gave the answers for. You have to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're ready, maybe 6 months, a year later, come back, and then we'll go to the next part
Mm-hmm.
and keep them on that path. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm like a spiritual sponsor for people,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
But there's other times when I'm doing this, I feel as though even though I don't have a piece of paper on the wall, I'm like a therapist for
Oh,
them.
for
I
sure.
have to.
100%.
I get the answers, but I have to tell it to them in a human way so they understand it, and then they can be focused on it and go do it. You know,
Yeah.
there's no hop, skip, and a jump. You know, you have to live through everything. You have to do everything. You can't just jump over to one side and go, "Oh, life's going to be great now." It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to guide them so they can stay down that path, stay on that journey, so they can get those lessons learned, so they can go home. That's what I do, and it takes time.
Yeah, it does. You know what it made me think about is you're exactly right. In personal training clients, the vast majority of time it's some type of mental thing we're working on. I feel like I'm a therapist more than anything because it dates back to something else. It's like, hey, I want to have, I want my biceps to look like Dwayne Johnson's biceps. Well, why? Let's talk about why you want them to look like, and then you get to the core of it. It's like, it's because when I was 12, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's focus on how you feel.
Right.
The byproduct will be you will look nice, but let's focus on how you feel. That's more important, right? And it makes me think of another thing, Daniel. It's like I've said this many times. It's a common analogy that they use, but I think it tracks for people, and that's why I use it quite often. You talk about the awareness of things. So here's the example I give. You have a smoke alarm in your house, and the smoke alarm wakes you up at 2 a.m. to tell you that your house is on fire. You get out safely. You grab what you can, you get out. You don't, as you're going past that smoke alarm, bitch and complain about the smoke alarm and smash it off the wall. You're happy that it alerted you to something you need to be alerted to. Well, the same thing with if you run across somebody in your daily life and they make you feel some kind of way. Well, why do they make me feel that way? There's something I need to deal with. That's your smoke alarm to say, hey, you should go, oh, thank you. I got something I got to work on here. What is that? Let me figure out what that is. So, I think that's what you're helping people do is to deal with the things they've been avoiding. Yeah.
It's also a choice as well.
Yeah.
So here's my analogy for it. So you and I are best buddies, and you come up to me and you
I
say,
appreciate
"Daniel,
that.
I'm ha I'm having a." No, you're not. You come to me and say, "Look, I'm having a problem with drugs and alcohol. I don't know what to do here. It's getting out of hand. So what do I do?" And I say, "Well, look, I'll take you to AA. I'll keep you away from drugs and alcohol. Take you to some classes. I'll take you away from all the bars and all that stuff. Although, who doesn't like a good strip club? I get it. But anyway, but I'll keep you away from all that stuff. But until you choose to stop doing the drugs,
Yeah.
stop drinking, no matter what I say or do isn't going to make a difference. You have to choose
Hmm.
to make a difference of yourself. You have to be proactive. So, you can go to the gym all you want to and pump up your muscles, but I got news for you. You're still going to die.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
What matters in this world is what you do in this world, for everybody. That's what's important. Not looking, oh, look how good I look to everybody. No, if you feel good, great. But do you need to prove anything? No, because God created me. He gave me my worth. People don't give me my worth. It's only people who feel I need to prove something to them.
yeah.
So, in other words, if you think that I need to prove something to you, well, then what
So
are you
that's
doing there?
I say that quite often too. It's like they're like my self worth. I said, no, you've taken on somebody else's. This theirs worth. They've imprinted that on you. You have
Correct.
not adopted your own.
Stop letting them do that to you.
That's it. And years ago, so I in my 40s, I switched away from trying to train for size. It was never for to impress anybody. I just wanted to do it.
Sure.
Now I train. It's all calisthenics, body weight. It's for health and vitality because I feel good. Like I can move my body in ways that most 50-year-old men can't because I do that. And
Right.
I want
You,
to.
you trained yourself to do that.
I've trained myself to do that because I actually enjoy it, and it's a form of therapy for me. Is going to the gym. I
Yeah.
love it. So where most people they have to push themselves through and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like this. I have somebody. You said something that made me think about this.
The strip club?
Yeah, that no, it
You're
wasn't
welcome.
strip. That was funny though. That was funny. No, but like when like somebody to come to me and they'll ask me for advice, and I kind of give them that information, and then I have a conversation with another friend. Like, hey, they asked me the same thing. Why did it click for them when you said it? We said it the same way. I said because they
Right.
weren't ready. They weren't ready to make the choice then.
Correct.
They were just happened to be ready when they came to me.
Correct.
It's nothing I did anything more profound. They just had now made the choice. I'm going to do something about it.
They need to
Right.
hear it in that moment.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of it is timing, right? And so that's interesting, man.
And
So
that's what I do.
yeah,
Because they're coming to me for an answer. Some of them come because they want to hear what they want to hear, but I always
right.
tell them I don't do that.
That's not how I
I
roll,
tell them
baby.
I tell them what they need to hear. Yeah.
You're like, I'm the guy that's going to tell you to get off my lawn. That's who I am, you know.
Yeah, I'm the guy who's going to get you off your ass, just come out of your ass, so you can go out and do the things that you need to do that you're supposed to be doing, and not that dumb shit you think is important, like taking 1,000 selfies, posting them on Facebook all day long,
You're
or let me just I need to go get a cup of
Yeah.
coffee. Wake up.
Your spirit medium drill sergeant Daniel. I'm going to call you drill sergeant from now on because they
Yeah.
kick your ass into shape.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I
You
love
need
it.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some, and this is going to lead right into this question here. What are some common misconceptions people have about spirit mediums? I know I already have, but what are some common misconceptions that you run into?
Oh, a big one. I want to talk to my mom and dad.
Uh-huh.
Well, that is not absolutely the case. Maybe your mom and dad don't want to talk to you. Maybe they know, or not maybe, they do know because they can see everything you're doing, walking around being a piece of shit all day. Now, I'm not judging you.
Hmm.
If you're a piece of shit because you choose to be that way, you can choose differently. And they see that, but you want them to give you more guidance on how you can do these shitty things. If you think that's going to happen, that's not going to happen. They want positivity. They live in a place that is positive. They want you to be positive. If you're walking around being a piece of crap, you think they're just going to come out and tell you how to help you? Oh, by the way, we left all the money. It's inside the walls. No, it's not about that.
That's not how that works. Yeah.
Or maybe your uncle will come through and you're going to go, oh, I didn't get along with my uncle. I don't want to talk to him. Well, he's in a place that's perfect now as well. He doesn't have any grudges or anything like that. he wants to tell you something because your mom and dad just doesn't want to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to get past that. It's not like that. You know, there are those meetings you do connect with your mom and dad, that type of thing, but I don't do that. But do your research before you go out and get a reading. Make sure that this person has good reviews too as well, because you don't want to go to someone just because they cost $450. That doesn't mean they're a good reader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there's a lot of misconceptions in this world. Again, like I talked about archangels or angels, they don't have wings and shields and swords. They're not fighting a battle in heaven or anything like that. And I had a lady come to me one time. And she said, "What do my angels have for me?" And I was like, I laughed.
Yeah.
Her mom was there with her, and her mom was laughing, and she said, "I brought her to you because of this bull crap, because I know you're going to tell her the truth." So,
Mm-hmm.
and I told her, "You don't have angels with you. You walk around all day, you take 1,000 selfies, post them everywhere, trying to prove to everybody how wonderful I am, when you're not."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "How did you know that?" I said, "Because you're talking to the fucking medium. That's why. I'm getting answers. I know what's going on here."
Yeah.
So, no, so again, even with that, people think they have angels walking around with them all day long. Okay, you don't need an angel. Go get a cup of fucking coffee. You don't need an angel to take 1,000 selfies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. They do big picture things. They're
Bigger
trying
things.
to put
Yeah.
a thought process out there to change this place. They're not walking around with you while you're doing this all day at the mall.
Yeah.
I mean,
They got
really.
bigger things to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you have spirit guides, and if you're walking around taking 1,000 selfies all day long, you're not even listening to them, so why the hell do you think you need an angel?
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
They need to wake up and understand that it's just not the way that it is on TV and movies, but that's the problem,
Yeah.
because TV and movies puts it out there like, "This is what's going on." It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, it's all bullshit. What does that do? It sells tickets.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. So
Absolutely, it does.
don't pay attention to that stuff. But I mean, there are those kinds of mediums out there. Oh, let me help you with your angels and all.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know either.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to get clients. They're just
Yeah, I was
trying
going
to
to
get
say
into your
they're
pocket.
predatory, kind of
Yeah,
like the yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
There's a
absolutely.
lot. There's a big one. Sage. Oh, let me burn this sage.
Oh
Let me get rid
yeah,
of all the
yeah.
negative energies. Well, these energies are in a different realm. They don't have a body anymore. They don't have lungs. They don't smell. They don't breathe. So the only thing you're doing at that point is you're setting off your fire alarms. That's
I was
all
going
you're
to
doing.
say you're making your room smell
If,
like
if,
burnt
if this
sage.
were not the truth, then how come all the forest fires in the world haven't made all the negative energies go away?
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it
That's
doesn't work.
oh, that is
It's
so true.
so much bullshit out there.
Yeah.
Or I saw a lady one time. I was at this show and there was this big giant brass bowl, okay,
Mm-hmm.
for vibration, to raise your vibrations. Your soul says it's as high as it's going to be ever, but it's inside this meat suit, so it's kind of lower. You can't raise it. You can raise your own by separating yourself from all the garbage in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but that's hard to do. I'm doing a video on my program called Realistically Raising Your Vibrations, okay? But this lady was standing in the bowl on this pillow. I walked past and I said, what are you doing in there? She said, "Oh, I'm about to raise my vibrations." I said, "Really?" I said, "So what's going to happen?" "Oh, well, he's going to come by with this mallet and hit the
Yeah.
bowl. And it's going to raise her." I said, "All you're going to do is feel the vibration. That's not raising your vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have pain in yourself? Anger, sorrow, guilt? Do you have anybody in your life that you're arguing with all the time? Well, yeah. You have to get rid of that first
Yeah.
in order to raise your vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
That's just clearing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the only thing you're doing here is, well, what I could do for you is I could add some water. I could throw in some carrots, maybe a piece of chicken, and we can make some kind of noodle soup. Because that's all this is good for. Get out of the bowl, get your money back, and walk away.
That's
Like the people who do the aura pictures.
yeah.
They can't take a picture of your aura. They're taking a picture of your heat signature.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they are doing. But they're charging you $90 for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah.
There are so many snake oil salesmen and hucksters out there that are trying to get your money. That's all they want to do. When you see these types of things, even the sound bowls, that sounds nice, but it's not going to heal you once you walk out of that building and you get into
Everything's the
traffic.
same
You're
once you
going,
get, yeah, yeah.
oh, that's a piece of shit. Oh, they're honking the horn at me.
Asshole,
Screw
cut
you.
me
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, you really raised your vibrations. Yeah, good luck with that. Really? Come on. There's so much garbage out there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
I love
it's
that.
ridiculous.
I love that. All right, we're to the rapid fire segment. I
Oh boy.
love every bit of that. We're to the rapid fire segment. So I hope you're ready. You're strapped in for this. These are
Let
hard hitting
me
questions.
strap myself in here, Scott.
These are hard hitting questions now. All right, you ready? All right, morning
My wife
person or
gives me hard hitting questions.
oh, does she?
What are
Morning
you doing
person.
today?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
What's your favorite way to spend a quiet nighttime?
Talking to spirit,
Mm,
listening to what they say, and they don't talk about what you would think they would.
mm. One thing you're learning right now.
How to be the best version of me so I can be helping others to become the same.
Mm. Favorite place you've traveled?
Oh, wow. I'm in the favorite place. I live in southern Arizona. I walk outside my front door, and right next to me is a 2.5 mile high mountain, and it's mountains everywhere. I can see, there's no high rises around here where I live. I can go outside my neighborhood and I can see mountains that are 50, 60 miles away.
Wow,
It's beautiful.
I was in Scottsdale a few years back, and I'd love Arizona. The
It's
air,
beautiful.
it's just so different there.
The energy is great.
Mm. What's the biggest challenge you've overcome? And it doesn't have to be anything spiritual. Just what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Being able to get over fear,
Mm.
especially what I do. I see a lot of horrible energies and stuff,
Hmm.
but knowing that they don't have to take over my life anyway, I don't have to be in fear of them. I can learn to say, you know what? I'm not going to let you take this power from me. I don't need to let you do that. I can walk away and say, you're not going to do this to me. With people as well. I don't let people get me upset. I choose not to get angry over other people's anger.
Yeah, because we all
I've
have a
learned to let
choice,
it go.
right? We all
Yeah,
have a choice there with that.
yeah.
One thing that you're grateful for today.
Being a medium,
Mm.
knowing that every day I wake up, I'm communicating with archangels. I don't take that for granted. I'm grateful for that. They don't just talk to me, and I hear, but they touch my face for yes and no.
Mm.
They come in and tell me things that I need to know to get through my day, but not just for other people. I wake up in the morning and I pick up my pill bottles. I look at it and I go, should I take this today? No. Oh, okay. You
Ah,
don't. Everything I need to do throughout my day, throughout my life, I ask them questions for,
guided.
and they guide me there.
Mm.
But they guide me there so I can be here
Hmm.
to do this for everyone else. I am grateful for that.
Mm. What's a quality you admire in other people?
Humanity, how they feel about other people, the love that they have for each other.
Hmm.
And you see it in the smallest ways, the simplest ways, and I think we need more of that. You know, when we were kids, we'd walk around looking at the world like everything was Disneyland. Where did that go?
Hmm.
Why did it go away? And we need to get back to that, and
That
I see it
curiosity.
still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that curiosity. Yeah.
What killed it?
Hmm.
We need to let go of what did kill it and get back to that. But when I see it, I don't see anything better.
Mm. What's a piece of advice you'd give your 20-year-old self?
Don't judge anybody.
Mm.
When you're about to walk into that store and you see somebody coming at you, and you start looking at them, you look up and down. Oh, I don't like that shirt. I don't like their sneakers. I don't like their hair.
Hmm.
Take a self inventory of myself and think about all the things I've been through my entire life, all the crap I've been through, and then look at that person and say, you know what, they're probably going through something too,
Mm-hmm.
and then bite my tongue and walk away
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have the right to do it. No
Everybody
one
has
does.
everybody has their own shit they're going through, right?
Yeah, everyone's going through something every
Yeah.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to let it go.
What's one word to describe your life's mission?
Not that.
I
Uh,
don't know. That's a good answer, right?
dedicated.
Mm, that's
Yeah,
good.
he asked me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants that answer from God,
Mm-hmm.
and I get them all the time. And He gave me certain ones to do. If I were to not do what He's asking me to do, that's like anybody else would be saying, "I ain't got time for you today, God."
Mm-hmm.
And why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He asks me to do it. I'm going to do it. So, and I'm going to be doing it 110%. I'm dedicated to doing His work.
I love that. Something happened to my screen here, Daniel. Give me oh, there it went. Came back. You had everything just disappeared for a second. It was very
Like I
odd.
said,
Yeah.
energy.
I
Talked
don't
about
know.
God. There you
Yeah.
go.
It was. I think I hit the mouse and it escaped the window. It was very odd.
You're just trying to escape from this. That's what you're
Yeah, it
doing.
looks like
It's a
no, not at
shirt.
all, man. No, this is great. I love this is my jam, man. I love this type of talk, man. I really do. So that rapid fire segment was really challenging, right? It was really tough for you, I'm sure.
When
So
you see what I see all day and feel what I feel and hear what I hear, sure. Because it's hard to pinpoint things down because I go through so much. I mean, I got to say it the best way I can. You people come to me because they want what I have. They say, "Oh, I wish I had your gift." When I start explaining everything that goes on in my life in order to have what I have,
yeah, they're like, yeah,
you
I
don't
don't think
want
so.
you don't
Yeah,
want this.
yeah.
You don't wanna see what I see.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes it's very horrible, but I have to be open to everything in order to get the answers that I do.
And how do
But
you?
that's a
So,
responsibility.
well, here's the thing too. Like in law enforcement, like when we'd see things, part of the way that the human mind copes with that is trying to find humor and something to lighten it, right?
Oh,
And so you'll see a lot of times on, like, say, a news thing or whatever, where there's been some murder suicide or whatever. And then they'll have a shot that you'll see maybe officers in the background, they're laughing. People say, I can't believe they're laughing. It's a coping thing because it's
right.
just people don't understand that. So
Yeah.
so you have that. So that's how you one know that you're still human because if you become so desensitized to it, it's like, oh, it's another
Correct.
dead body or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
so that's what you have to deal with, every day. So part of the reason I say all that is we had each other to talk to about those things. Like, God, man,
Right.
can you believe? Because you don't bring that home to have a conversation over the dinner table with your wife to say, man, I saw a kid today with his head, whatever.
Correct.
That's not something you bring home. We
Right.
had each other, behind the blue line to have those conversations. So who do you go to? How do you have conversations? Because that stuff, it's a lot to process.
My wife, is involved with this as well. She knows
Okay.
everything that I see, hear, and
Gotcha.
feel.
That's great.
So I can talk to her about it, but when I really need to talk to someone or anyone, I talk to them.
Yeah, yeah.
They understand. They know this is hard for me as well.
Hmm.
Again, you don't wanna see what I see. No one does.
Hmm.
But they understand I have to go through it as well in order to get the answers I do, to have this kind of connection. It's hard. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want you don't wanna see what I do.
Hmm.
Nobody does. But it's kinda like that Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility, and I have a huge responsibility that was put on my shoulders, but I did have to say yes or no to it, and I did. But I knew that there was something more to it. There was something that just needed to be taken care of, and I've always had this driven feeling inside of me that there's something more. I know there's something more meant for me, and I know now this is it. I didn't know what that entailed, but I'm not gonna back away from it. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be helping everyone that I can. I'm here trying to change this place, and that's gonna be a tough thing, but as long as I can get out there and do that, as long as I can see the differences I'm making in people's lives, then it's all worth it.
Do you ever have moments of regret of saying yes?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I get to help people every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been through some things like, um, they have to work on me, okay? And I mean my spirit guides, archangels. This is how I know when people are bullshitting other people when they say, "Oh, I work with archangels. I've been touched by an angel." It's not like the TV show.
TV show.
No, not by any means. So in the very beginning, I'd be laying in bed and I'd see these bluish white lights coming up out of the ceiling. And then I'd feel these cold touches all over my body. And they would do this to work on my soul so I could see them, hear them, feel them, communicate with them better. And so that was fine. Then the very next day, I'd wake up and I'd be throwing up and crapping everywhere. Okay, because their energy is so strong. And that would happen for a couple hours, and then I would recover from it. I'd be okay. And then it would happen again 2 weeks later. That went on for 3 years. Would you say yes to that?
Yeah, yeah. Most people would say no.
Right.
Yeah.
But I knew it meant something.
Mm-hmm.
It was something more that needed to be done. So I got through it.
Mm-hmm.
I got through it the best I can. I'm not going to say it was easy. I'm not going to say
Sure.
anything that they've brought me has been easy. But I knew there was light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And
Right.
it's not a train, not on
Right.
train.
Yeah, it's not a train. Yeah, but it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go out there and help people every day that I come in contact with, then that's the validation of knowing of what I'm doing is the right thing to do.
How many more people are like you out there?
Like me,
Mm-hmm.
nobody has as many archangels with them as I do. Nobody does. Now, some of them have this ability and could be working with archangels, but I do readings for people
Mm-hmm.
who are other mediums who feel as though they have something more because they heard me on a podcast and they're saying, "Oh, what this guy's talking about, I feel that's with me." So they'll contact me. I've done that reading for 24 people so far since I've been here in Arizona. You know how many moved forward with it once I explained everything?
0?
One.
1. Mm.
Because when they see what they have to do in their lives to change. I mean, one guy didn't want to stop smoking pot and drinking alcohol. He thought that was more important to have fun like that instead of actually working
Mm-hmm.
for God, working with archangels every day, getting answers that no one else can get,
Mm-hmm.
answering all the unanswered questions
Mm-hmm.
that everybody wants. They think they want. He thought that was more important. I had one girl say, "Oh, well, my life is too busy." Are you serious? Really? You don't want to? You could get answers that anyone wants in this world. Everyone wishes they could have. And you could have that, but you have to go out and help other people with that. It's not just to do it for your own selfishness, your own ego, because ego has no place in spirituality whatsoever. There's a lot of mediums out there say that it does. They are full of shit and full of themselves. Okay, I don't mind telling about the bad ones because they're out there fooling everybody. Paying $500 for a reading. Get the hell out of here. But Yeah, this is not easy to do. This is for a very small percentage of that 10% of the public that has an ability. It's only 1/10% that have what I have, but no one has what I have. They just don't. I'm the recruiter. I do that for God. I bring in the ones that He is offering it to, but it's not for everybody.
Mm.
It comes down to choice,
Hmm.
and that choice was hard for people to make.
Yeah, sure.
I do everything I do is for Him.
Hmm.
To get that word out, to get that message out, to help people in this world. And no matter what I'm doing in my life, this comes first.
Hmm.
I I had a lady come to me who I did a reading with her for this, and I told her, "You're going to be tested. So no matter what the test is, it's going to be very small. You need to do it."
Hmm.
Okay, and I explained everything to her. Now, I already knew prior to giving her all this information, she wasn't going to do this.
Hmm.
They told me, "No, she's not going to do it, but you need to give her the option." So I told her that test is going to come, and she said, "This is how I knew the other part. She didn't fully feel this inside of her. Oh well, I have to talk to my family about it, see what they think.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is a self thing.
Yeah.
You're either going to do it or you're not. Okay."
Hmm.
So she gets a hold of me about 2 weeks later, and she says, "I think I failed the test." And I said, "Well, let me ask. Yeah, you did." I said, "You didn't follow through with it?" She said, "I didn't." I said, "Tell me the story, 'cause I know you have everybody's got a story." She said she got in her car, her and her husband are gonna go to the mall. She's about to pull in a parking space, and then she gets an overwhelming feeling that says, "Don't pull head in, back in." And she said, "I felt it. I felt it inside of me. I mean, I've never felt anything like this before, and I knew it's because of this talk we had that that's why it was taking place because you." I said, "Well, yeah, but I made it more prevalent to you."
Hmm.
So she pulls head in. She goes in the store. She comes back out. Car won't start. She had to call her dad, and her dad said, "Well, I'll be there right away, honey." He gets there. All these cars are there. He can't jump the car. He can't jump the car because there's too many cars in the way. He had to wait 4 hours
Hmm.
before all the other cars leave. Then he could finally pull his car up to where it needed to be. And I said, "Yeah, you failed the test." She says, "When's my next one?" I said, "What do you mean next one?
Hmm.
You're done."
Hmm.
"Well, isn't he gonna give me another chance?" I said, "Look how small that was. You felt it inside of you like nothing else, and you just disregarded it. So this is what you did. You basically told God, 'I ain't got time for you today.'
Hmm.
Really? I told you everything you needed to do, the changes you needed to make in your life, and told you about a test was coming, and you just disregarded it. You think He really wants someone who's going to disregard what He needs to have happen in this world, things that He needs that need to be done? Do you think He's gonna give it to someone who's just gonna go, I'll
Hmm.
do it
Yeah.
later." You really think He's gonna do that? This is God. I mean, this is the one that everyone looks to for answers, and He's gonna give you an ability to use to help everybody everywhere, and He wants you to second guess it?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a great day. And she was crying, "Oh, I've been wanting this and crying about it," and
Hmm.
I said, "Well, why didn't you just do it? It's that simple. You could have made the decision to just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody can do that in their life,
Hmm.
but they just disregard it.
Hmm.
Have a
Hmm.
great day. You can still be a medium, but you're not working for God.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Not in that sense.
So, yeah, that could convey to so many things that people do just in their normal life, right? You know,
Correct.
just every day as they're navigating the
Correct.
world. So, how can people find you and connect with you, Daniel?
Um, I usually hang out on the corner, on the block, down the street, sometimes down the alley, but you don't wanna go down there because it's
Yeah.
not nice. Um, if you wanna get a reading from me, you can find me at spiritmediumdaniel.com.
Okay.
Pretty simple. I do a couple of different kinds. One is just some people like to talk about spirit, they wanna know
Mm-hmm.
information, or they get a regular reading with me because they wanna know some things about their lives or some people who are in their lives who have passed away. Or I do this other type of mediums who are feeling as though they have something more, and I will guide them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple. If you wanna read my book, it's called Daniel Jackson, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium.
Mm-hmm.
It's how everything happened to me and for me throughout my life, and all these, experiences, some of my favorite readings are in there, but there's also messages in the very end of the book, chapter 12, The Basics,
Mm-hmm.
and these are channeled messages to help us to become the best versions of ourselves while helping other people to do the same thing, which in turn is going to help us, so hopefully get your purpose fulfilled so you can go home and stay home. It's pretty simple. Yes, you can go on Amazon, put that in the search bar, Daniel Jackson, A New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium, and, you'll see a picture of a man
The
walking into a
back.
bright white light.
That's yeah. It's from behind, right? I'll
Yeah,
yeah. I will link it all in the show notes for
yeah, here
anybody's listening.
for
So
anybody's listening, but if you're
yeah, watching. Yeah,
I
it
got a
looks like
picture of it,
that.
but,
Yeah,
yeah, it
perfect.
looks like a man walking into a bright white light. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you wanna watch my podcast, I have a podcast called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Me. That's how I
Yeah.
start.
Very
Yeah,
simple. I'll
yeah,
make sure I
kinda
link that too. That'd be
kinda
great.
kooky, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on a network, I'm on a now a brand new stream of spiritual network called New Reality TV.
Mm,
So you can find that at newrealitytv.com.
nice. Let me write that down so I can search it and put it in the show notes. New reality
But
TV.
as long as I'm out there helping people, that's the main focus in my life. That's what I wanna do. That's what I've been asked to do. I'm out there not out there charging hundreds of thousands of dollars or stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a reading, it's $150. It's for 2 hours. If it goes over to 3 or 4 hours, you know how much I charge people after that? I don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm getting the information they need.
Yeah.
Even my book, I charge $8.
Yeah.
I make $2.49 off that copy.
Mm,
I'm not trying to make $1,000,000, but I sure am trying to help 1,000,000 people.
yeah.
So, that's another thing, you gotta watch out for these people out there. You just gotta make sure that the person you're going to is the right person. And just because they're charging you $1,000, that does not
Doesn't mean
mean
it's
they are
right. Yeah. They just got
right,
good marketing.
right, they have good marketing, that's all. Yeah, because they think it's important to, get 50 readings in a week so they can make a car payment on their BMW. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's a bunch of bullshit. So,
Mm-hmm.
I try to put that out there so people can be aware of that. But the one thing I try to tell them to do is, again, listen, trust, and follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands on your stomach before you're about to do something and ask yourself, "Is this the right thing for me to do? Should I do this or not?" And then just wait, and if you feel good about it, go do it. If you don't feel good about it, walk away. It's very simple, but you have to learn to do that. Like I said, don't go out and outsource everything. All the answers you need are from within. Intuition, that's your soul. What are the first 2 letters? I-N, in. Listen to that first. And then if you need some more opinions or you need some more advice, do like I did, the basis of my book. I couldn't figure this out, so I went out and found my people,
Mm-hmm.
people who accepted me for being this, and knowing I can accept myself as well, and then go out there and go, everyone else who's going against me, I don't have to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
I can change this place, but it is a big responsibility, but we can all change this place. It's a big responsibility for everyone. Don't just sit around with your thumb up your ass all day long and do nothing. Go out and do something. Go out and help somebody because they probably need it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's wrong with helping anyone? Nothing.
Nothing. I love that so much. Well, thank you for being on, Daniel. I'll make sure I link all this stuff into the show notes below
Cool.
for those that are listening and also those for viewing. This has been another episode of Reinventing Life After 50. Thank you guys for joining in. Until next time, this is To Your Health and Wealth. Bye now.
Be good. Don't do any stupid shit.